right, good morning, karibu sana. It is the 13th of July 2026. Mambo ni mengi, quarter finals zimekwisha za World Cup. The team that you are supporting?
Yeah.
France.
France.
We are still there.
Nice.
We are still there. England is still there. The only non-European team in the World Cup still surviving is Argentina. Wacha tuone watafika wapi. But I don't think, anyway, let me not.
You don't think?
Let me not jinx them.
Yeah.
Karibu sana, this is a TV47 breakfast. My name is Freddy Ndimuli and we're here kama kawaida to wake you up the best way we know how. How hot is your coffee?
All right, my name is Annie Odida. It's a very, very cold morning in Nairobi. I don't know how it is where you are.
Cold?
I'm feeling cold. Husikii baridi?
Mimi sisikii baridi mahali.
Ama umefanya jambo? It's International Town Criers Day, but sijaisikia kama hii.
Ati?
International Town Criers Day.
Town Criers.
Criers, yes. So how to celebrate International Town Criers Day? Have a delightful celebration of International Town Criers Day with some of these ideas. Try being a town crier. Wende tao ulie. Enda tu upige nduru moja safi huko town.
You know the crier, the way they do it in European culture.
Yeah.
When you want to inform, like what we are doing now.
Yes.
Like the media, the way we wake people up.
Yes.
We are the town criers.
Yes. Hapo nilikuwa nimekudanganya, usiende town upige nduru moja safi.
You are a town crier.
Yes. Yeah, so unaambiwa just put on some nice suit, complete with that top hat, and head on to the streets to proclaim some news.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
News.
Today, all Kalou campaigns comes to an end.
3 days. Less than 3 days, yeah?
Alafu campaigns inaisha leo.
Officially.
To pave way for Thursday's by-election. Yeah, these are just some of the things happening today. And tutakuwa tunakwambia zaidi tukiangalia magazeti.
Right.
Oh.
Acha nipitie tu zile mabao watu walifungwa kwa quarter finals. Argentina beat Switzerland 3-1. Norway lost to England 2-1. Spain beat Belgium 2-1. France beat Morocco 2-0. So it means now we have France, Spain, England, and Argentina. So I think hapa, France, I think, should be meeting Spain. Yeah? Then England meets Argentina. Interesting, yes. France should be meeting Spain and England meeting Argentina. That is the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup 2026. So very mouth-watering, but that comes later in the week.
All right. Do interact with us through our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X, it's TV47 Digital. Tag us. My handle is at Annie_Dida.
Mine is at Freddy Ndimuli on X.
All right, let's take a look at the state of the weather. All right, we start off in Kisii. Light rains expected today. It's 17 degrees this morning, highs of 27 degrees in Kisii. Kilifi, it's a partly sunny day, 24 degrees this morning, highs of 29 degrees. 19 degrees this morning in Kisumu, highs of 29 degrees expected today. Kitui, it's a sunny day, 16 degrees this morning, highs of 27 degrees. Kiambu County, it's a partly sunny day, 14 degrees this morning, highs of 23 degrees. Nairobi, it's a partly sunny day, 14 degrees this morning, highs of 24 degrees expected in Nairobi today. That's the state of the weather.
Hata mimi nashangaa unasema unasikia baridi wapi? It's pretty warm in Nairobi.
14 degrees?
Yeah,
warm.
that's warm.
Okay. Sawa basi.
Wewe unasikia baridi kwa nini?
Sawa basi.
Watu wengine wenye wako Nairobi unasikia joto, wewe unasikia baridi.
Hebu tuambie kama wewe kwenye uko unasikia joto. Let's take a look at the quote of the day.
All right.
Find out who you are and do it on purpose.
right, we start off with the Standard. Madness of a nation, that's a big headline on the front page of this paper. They talk about anarchy. The country is teetering on the edge as goons take over the streets. Political violence is becoming the new normal, with armed gangs attacking opposition leaders and disrupting their meetings. Those charged with safeguarding the nation's security, that's the Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen and PS Raymond Omolo, stand accused by critics of allowing politics to overshadow their constitutional duty to protect life and property. President William Ruto has remained conspicuously silent. Unless decisive action is taken, the country risks a complete breakdown of law and order. Now, it is barely 3 days to the much anticipated by-elections in Kalou, and I think this is directly linked to that, because the politics in Kalou has reached fever pitch. As you say, the campaigns are ending today.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening. And a number of people have died because of politics. Yes, and leaders have been attacked. Now, and I'm not suggesting anything, but the problem is that the latest violence meted against leaders of the Linda Mwananchi in Nyandarua may be confused or construed to have been to have come from different directions. Remember, they had been warned, wasipeleke kierere huko.
Yeah.
But also, there's goons who many people say are affiliated to the UDA candidate as well. So kuna shida pale, The thing is, Kipchumba Murkomen, the CS for Interior, has kept on talking about Rigathi Gachagua. Yeah, surely. Surely, Kipchumba Murkomen, surely, is that the country's priority? Rigathi Gachagua? Tuko na shida mingi sana. Oh, na shinda tu hapa, Rigathi Gachagua, Rigathi. Surely, come on. Anyway, so that's a big story on the front page hapa, na kuna picha ya magari ambayo yameharibiwa and sura za watu tinginya. Wanaitwa
Yes, misuli tinginya.
Misuli tinginya.
Watu wenye misuli tinginya.
Sura zilikuwa zinasemekana zimefanya. Kuna sura na misuli tinginya. Ziko hapo kwenye kurasa mbele. Goons. Let's take a look at other stories inside this paper. Price of survival, how cancer is driving families into poverty and debt. And you've heard these stories, yes. Read the story on page 2, because cancer really is affecting families in a
Allow
very
me to take
bad
you back to the front page. You know, surprisingly, this photo here, where Easy Machetes, Easy Meaty, this is a photo from Kisumu. Is that Kisumu residents?
back in the day, or a recent photo?
Yesterday.
Now see, there's a panelist of mine who was here last week, and he kept on insisting that Kisumu is very peaceful.
Yeah.
Nothing is happening.
So Edwin Sifuna and of course Manjimi, James Orengo, yeah, they were having some sort of, I think they were talking to residents of Kisumu, and they were allegedly
accosted by these people.
Yeah, with these guys here. There's a photo from Kisumu, and then this car vehicle, this one is from Irungu Kangata's rally yesterday.
In Nyandarua.
Yes, in Nyandarua. This man here is his driver, was shot by a rubber bullet. And then this other photo on the, this is on the right, this is a photo, I think it's still from Irungu Kangata's rally.
Very unfortunate. You know, it's exactly now a year and less than a month.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 1 year to elections. Yeah. And these are the issues. Invasive crows land in Nairobi and trigger conservation concerns. After decades confined to the coast, the destructive birds have been spotted around the city stadium. Have you witnessed this? The crows everywhere in Nairobi. Yeah. Is it Owang? Owang. That's an interesting story there. One shot at Linda Mwananchi Nyahururu rally ends in chaos. We've talked about that. Political violence escalates ahead of Kalou poll as leaders attacked. We've also talked about that as well. Mbeere North power transformers are back. You know, last week we were talking about, transformers and Mbeere zilitolewa. Kenya Power issued a very long statement saying that, no, we were just servicing the 14 out of 15. Can you imagine 14 transformers in your area being taken for servicing at the same time?
Yeah.
So they were all taken for servicing.
Mchezo wa town.
Watu walipo complain zikarudishwa zote, they are back, wacheni. But either way, can you imagine, wherever you live right now, they can come for 15 transformers for service at the same time? zenyu zote zimeharibika, 15 of them, we're coming to service them now. Wewe wacheni mambo yenyu wewe. Ukrainian database names 59 Kenyans killed in Russian war. People are still fighting in the Ukraine-Russia war. And patients demand answers over expired ARVs. We talked about this issue a lot last week. The fact that expired
medicine and expired medicine.
Yes, it's still a big deal. Yeah. But I tell you, it's because there's no money. USAID walitoka, US wakatoka kwa WHO, meaning there's no money to fund for ARVs. Order of distress, how pollution, climate, stress are producing a foul smell in Lake Victoria. Ulienda nyumbani?
No, I was here in the city. I went to watch a play on Femicide. Kule my alma mater.
Kwa hivyo huwezi jibu hii swali.
Hiyo sasa sina habari.
On the back page, rub eyes in disbelief, but it's Messi next. So Messi is still in the World Cup. Ronaldo left. All the biggest players at the World Cup you're talking about or you ever felt big football players are out. Watu wamebaki ni Messi na watu wa Arsenal.
Yes.
Watu wa Arsenal wako Spain, wako France na wako England. Team kubwa.
Waongee tena.
Arsenal all over. Yeah, apart from Messi. Yeah. So far World Cup top scorers Kylian Mbappe at 8 goals. Lionel Messi also a top goal scorer. Erling Haaland of Norway, although Norway left. They've exited. Harry Kane of England, 6 goals. Jude Bellingham of England as well. So, sio mbaya. Bukayo Saka ako pale, a number of assists, and Martin Odegaard. So Bukayo Saka could actually increase his number of assists as we get to the semi-finals of the World Cup. That's a standard. All
right. Taifa Leo ni domokaya tu. That's the main headline on the front page of Taifa Leo this morning. Nani analala kazini? Jana misafara ya Linda Mwananchi jijini Kisumu na Nyahururu ilivamiwa huku watu kadhaa wakijeruhiwa na mali kuharibiwa. Uhuni huu unajiri siku moja baada ya ghasia kuripotiwa baina ya makundi ya kampeni ya DCP na UDA Kalou na wiki moja baada ya mashambulizi ya Keumbu Kisii. Visa hivi vinajiri licha ya serikali chini ya Wizara ya Usalama wa Ndani, Idara ya Polisi na Tume ya Uchaguzi IEBC zikiendelea kusema bila kutenda. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa pili. Wanasema visa vya uhuni jana dhidi ya mikutano ya Linda Mwananchi vinaanika serikali kama inayosema tu bila kutenda. Wameita uhuni. Waziri wa Usalama wa Ndani Kipchumba Murkomen, Inspector General wa Polisi Douglas Kanja na mwenyekiti wa IEBC Erastus Edung Ethekon. You know, on Saturday I saw the Standard wali cover, okay, they did on the dailies on Saturday. Selective, they call it is it selective justice or selective something?
Where the IEBC is actually punishing one side more than the other.
Yes.
Letu jicho tu tunaona, and if at all that's the trend, then probably that's what we should expect next year.
Yeah.
Bwana Ethekon, jaribu. You know, the thing about justice is not just about it being done. It has to be seen to be done.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Sawa, vidokezo zaidi. Kampeni ya Kalou ni lala salama leo. Yes, we've talked about the story. Campaigns ends today in Kalou. Umoja wa upinzani katika mizani. Dalili za mgawanyiko zimejitokeza baada ya Gachagua kumrukia vikali Gavana Kang'ata. Yes, and this is what it's being talked about. They were told not to go campaign in Kalou. Nyandarua?
Yeah.
Nyandarua and Kalou in one place.
Nyandarua is a county. Kalou is just a constituency in Nyandarua.
Yes, so they were told they can't campaign in Nyandarua, and yes, hawa watu walienda kucampaign.
But that's very interesting because they're campaigning for the same candidate.
Yes, and that is, are they campaigning for the same candidate?
Okay, I'm not so sure which candidate they're campaigning for. But because, okay, fine. That's probably what we should question. So who exactly are Linda Mwananchi campaigning for in Nyandarua? Are they campaigning for the DCP candidate? Because there are 9 candidates in total. There's a PNU candidate, there's a Jubilee candidate. So Linda Mwananchi walikuwa na kampeni ya nani? Ama walikuwa tu wanaenda kupiga kelele? Kalou.
Oh yeah. Wacha tu hope.
Akaambua musilete kirere huku.
Yeah, so that is what is happening in Kalou. Mbadi apinga kesi ya mkopo wa shilingi trilioni 7, and we're going to talk about this in another newspaper. That waziri na mwanasheria mkuu hawataki kesi ya kubaini uhalali wa deni iendelee kotini. And that's Taifa. Kule juu kwa Binzaro miili ilizikwa bila nguo wala jeneza. This was another shakahola too. still in Kilifi County. Vifo hivyo vilitokea msituni Chakama mwaka jana. Very, very, very sad state of affairs there. And Junior Starlets wafuzu kombe la dunia tena. And that's the Taifa Leo.
All right, from Taifa Leo, let's take a look at the Daily Nation. Moment of truth for Uhuru Ruto, 7 trillion shilling loans. And you know, there have been so many attempts to actually divide the two. Seme Uhuru is different from... Imekata. The Kenya Kwanza government has launched a fresh bid to hold proceedings in a landmark constitutional case challenging the legality of 6.95 trillion shillings in public debt, with Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi and Attorney General Dorcas Oduor filing fresh applications to stop the hearing scheduled for October. Now, and they've broken down this public debt from 2025-2026, how much it was, na zile zingine all the way from 2018 vile zimepanda zikapile mpaka ikafika 12 trillion shillings public debt. Kuna wale wanasema this is odious debt, this is debt that we should not be paying as Kenyans, that it was taken and directed elsewhere. But yes, if you've been following issues around Kenya's sovereign debt or national debt, the story is on page 4 of this paper. Read about it. Kenya under-17 girls hit South Africa to qualify for FIFA World Cup. This is rarely talked about.
Yeah.
The starlets. Now, these are the junior starlets, not the main starlets. The junior starlets, picture there of them celebrating, scoring against South Africa to qualify for the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup at the Nyayo Stadium in Nairobi yesterday. Yeah, so that's a big one. They have a picture here of this lady who lost the Glee Hotel. Najua ile deni ya 7 billion.
Mary Wanjiru.
Wewe uko na deni ya fuliza ya 3,000 hata si 400 inakusumbua. Kuna mtu ako na deni ya banki ya 7 billion.
Yes.
Yeah. How mixing business with politics has humbled the rich. That's the headline on page 3. And they have the image there of Mary Wambui, who used to be a very close friend to the president,
Yes.
William Ruto.
Oh, it's Mary Wambui, not Wanjiru. It's
No,
Wambui.
yes, she's Wambui. Yeah.
Okay.
Sasa sijui kulienda aje, sijui kwa nini nilisikia Gachagua akisema ati nilikwambia utakulwa tu.
Okay. She was appointed to a state board.
She is the chairperson of the Communications Authority.
Nice.
Yeah. Pale juu Linda Mwananchi leaders condemn attacks in Nyahururu and Kisumu, and this is the continued cases of Goonism, and especially linked to politics, where you hold a rally. See a rally somewhere, then people show up and disrupt your rally. And that story is in the inside pages. Lobbies want Utumishi girls barred from reopening dome. Yeah, they don't want that dome reopened. They want that banned. The Kenya Human Rights Commission have filed a case seeking to stop the reopening of the Melin Waithera dormitory in Utumishi girls, where 16 girls died in an arson attack. Yes, remember that 8 girls are already facing murder charges for that. All right. Story nyingi kule ndani. Moment of truth for Uhuru Ruto loans, hiyo tumezungumzia. Thwake Dam completion shelved again. Bitter campaigns in Kalou, we've talked about that. Alafu Ethekon amesema goons will cost you the ballot. But sijui kama... The issue is, do you feel like anyone is handling this issue of goonism?
No, we're taking it very lightly, very casually. We are treating it like, you know, ni kitu ya kukuja na kupita. And I think this sets the precedence for next year's general election. So if it's not taken care of right now, then what are we anticipating?
Because the feeling is there's a lot of blame game, and you feel by blaming the other person, you've sorted out the issue, including by the CS for Interior. It's like he feels, and if you blame Gachagua, then the problem is sorted. If I blame someone else, the problem is sorted. No, it is not sorted. And this one, I can tell you directly, Kipchumba Murkomen, this is your job. Whether Gachagua is a problem, whether who is a problem, this is your job. Can you just do it? Tuongee baadaye. Fanya kazi. Kama uwezi, sema umeshindwa. That's it. On the back page of this paper, Matters World Cup, 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now getting to the semi-finals. Argentina ride on attacking depth to storm into semi-finals. Now, the semi-finals, 4 teams remaining. Playing on Tuesday. France versus Spain. I think this is the biggest game of the
season. Of the World Cup.
No, I almost said the century. No, it cannot be the century, but of the decade. France versus Spain at the World Cup, that's a big game. Yes. Also, England versus Argentina. If Argentina lose, it means this is, I don't know why I'm foreseeing a France versus England final. Yeah. Lakini hiyo ni mimi tu. Wengine sijui wanasemaje. That's the Daily Nation today.
All right. Tuangalie People Daily sasa. They talk about Nyota Fund, illusion of a windfall, they call it that. That youth face harsh economic realities and collapse. That after receiving what many see as a lifeline, beneficiaries are coming face to face with financial ruin as their capital is rapidly swallowed by county levies, expensive energy, and aggressive taxation. There's a story on page 4. But I think President William Ruto ordered counties to waiver, what is it called? You see that thing where you have to register your business and, I don't know, just...
Oh, yeah. Some of those permits.
Yeah, the permit,
permits, yes.
President ordered counties to waiver that for these beneficiaries of the Nyota Fund. So, People Daily, what's up? That story is on page 4. President William Ruto captured there taking photos with some of the beneficiaries to Lindsay Sports Complex. On the top strip, when a ruling party buys what it can no longer earn. That's the story on page 12. At what it can no longer earn. What was that? That story is on page 12. You can grab sahi unajua People Daily iko sahi rahisi.
Wananunua.
Just download the app.
Wananunua so they don't have the goodwill. I think that's what they're suggesting. Like what is happening in Nyandarua.
Yeah.
But they can no longer earn the votes directly. So they're buying.
There is a mattress.
Wanapeana mattress ya GOK. Can you imagine sleeping on a GOK mattress?
Hiyo ni ya wageni unaweka guest.
Unaamka hivi ndoto na kuona government of Kenya. Unaweza shindo kulala tena.
Oh yeah, that's what they're talking about, the politics of tokenism.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the People Daily.
All right, from the People Daily, we take a look at the Star. Why new Sacco bill has, and yeah, this one is fresh, independent, and different. And it's not even, okay, anyway. Why new Sacco bill has raised great interest while everyone else is talking about politics and the issue of Goonism and other issues. Then we're talking about the wave of panic sweeping through Kenya's financial bedrock. That story is on pages 4 and 5. Let's take a look at what they're talking about because many may miss, because kila mtu anazungumzia mambo ya Kalou, lakini the Star, being fresh, independent and different, have a totally different story that they did not care to explain on the front page. The truth, half-truths and falsehoods about proposed SACCO laws. There's been a lot of discussion about what will happen to SACCOs.
Yeah.
Ati pesa yenyu itachukuliwa sijui ipelekwe wapi. Unajua pesa ya NSSF ilipelekwa kwa infrastructure fund.
Yeah.
Sawa nasema hata ya SACCO itachukuliwa. So you can read. Government dismisses propaganda. Yeah? Asema all those claims are propaganda. A viral claim that a state intends to raid SACCO savings to finance key national infrastructure projects. But the issue is, are you really concerned about your savings? Unajua, this is not a statutory deduction.
Yeah.
This is not what you pay for NSSF. This is not even what you pay for housing levy. These are your savings.
Your money.
Your money.
Yeah.
Pesa umesema, hata ungesema sasa nimetoka hiyo SACCO, bado ni pesa yako, unarudi unaenda. Alafu unasikia, hata hiyo tunakujia.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a claim. Those are the rumors. Okay, yes, but the government claims those are falsehoods and half-truths. So read this story on page 4 and 5 of the Standard, of the Star rather, to understand exactly what they're saying about SACCO financing. Mimi niliambia watu ukitaka, if you're in a SACCO, just make sure you have a loan
From the SACCO.
from the SACCO.
Ndio ima pesa ikienda uko na loan.
Uko na pesa ya house.
Wewe.
That is the only secret. Okay, that's me. It is not a professional. It is not a professional opinion.
That is theft.
Right. So the Star, and I like the way they've put this photo of a player playing football, pale juu. Kwa hiyo nini ya the Star.
Yeah.
Other quick highlights on the front page, they talk about the violence witnessed as well. Violence rocks Linda Mwananchi event in Kisumu. Armed youth men charged towards ACK. And the interesting thing is that these are armed men, armed youth.
Yeah.
Na polisi wamesimama na wao.
Yeah.
Police are there. You can actually see them in uniform. talking to them, si ati kuwajaribu kuwasimamisha, just talking to them ile mnasikiaje leo. Anyway.
Wakwadi na machete literally when I swipe kwa ground. You know, I saw somebody made a comparison of what is happening in Kisumu and what is happening in Kalou. You see Kalou watu wameshika gas and their mattresses, and then in Kisumu they have the machetes and these rungus.
I wish today I had Wakili Nyamori in studio, because he insists, in Kisumu we no longer do violence. We don't. These are young men in Kisumu. They are unhappy because
my first time seeing something like this in Kisumu.
Either they've been paid or they've come out by themselves, but either way, my biggest concern is how come police officers in uniform are just interacting with them. Wanafaa kufukuzwa haraka sana. Any other quick highlights on the front page of this paper? Ruto to Kalonzo, I won't abandon Ukambani even if you cannot join me. Kwani was he to join him?
Alimwambia anaweza mjoin, I guess.
Wakakosana sababu mmoja alikataa kujoin mwingine. Hii ni siasa, unakubali tu. Boards, CEOs face exit as MPs push to abolish state agencies is another story there. Na hiyo story ya Dangote, 2 trillion shilling Lamu refinery plan faces activist opposition. Why would people oppose this thing? Why would someone have resistance against this plan? The story is on page 2. Plans by Aliko Dangote to build a giant oil refinery in Lamu are facing resistance from environmental groups. Read more on that story on page 2 of this paper. Kama kawaida, back page matters World Cup. They're focusing on Messi. A reason to worry, they ask. Excitement as Messi set for first England meeting on international stage. He has never met England at the World Cup or on an international stage. Lionel Messi. Remember, Ronaldo is out, so Lionel Messi remains the only GOAT. Mbuzi ni mmoja.
Bora ni mbuzi. What ni mbuzi?
Bora ni mbuzi. Right,
Business Daily.
Yes.
How 299 billion shillings fees crushed Mao's Summit toll road deal. A very interesting read on page 2. Pact to give French firms 23 billion shillings yearly for 13 years. Uhuru era contract terminated in favor of Chinese company. Yeah, that's the story on page 2. On the ticker, MPs revive push to lower wholesale power tariffs. They have revived the push to compel big power producers to lower wholesale prices. They sell electricity to Kenya Power in an effort to ease pressure on consumers. And that's the Business Daily this morning. All
right. We're still having challenges getting newspapers from Uganda. Hapo kuna shida. Najua waliambiwa na ule Mhozi Kairenugaba, you will not continue printing newspapers here. Mzee amekataa hiyo maneno. So let's go straight to Tanzania, and we start off with the Citizen. Sefue's advice on rallies and Gen Z and parenting. You know, and I like the fact that in Tanzania, if you they're facing the same problems like Kenya, but only wako nyuma sana in terms of where we are. This is when they're talking about Gen Zs and rallies. So there's a safe advice by Ambassador Naitwa Sefue. Some of the ambassador has urged young people to build their lives and careers brick by brick rather than chasing quick success driven by the digital age. Unafikiria wanamsikiza? Unafikiria wanamsikiza?
Ni inaingia kwa masikio moja inatoka hiyo nyingine.
Kuna mtu anasema ati huyu ni kama Sifuna wao. At least Sifuna Kenya watu wanamsikiza.
Yes.
This is a Citizen. And Naitwa Sefue is a former chief secretary and veteran diplomat, Ambassador Ombeni Sefue. Amekuja anapatia mawaidha Gen Z. Gen Z huwa wasikizi. Yeah. If you have Gen Zs in your household, you know. They just don't listen.
Wow. Okay.
Gazeti la Mwananchi bado habari ile Sefue afunguka kisa maandamano Gen Z. Unafikiria tukija hapo tunakaa Gen Z, nyinyi mnafaa kuangalia, nyinyi ndio kizazi cha kesho. Nyinyi ndio they don't care. They just don't care. Walikuwa mahojiano maalumu na gazeti hizi mbili. Sefue asema maandamano ni moja ya haki muhimu za kidemokrasia na kikatiba. Ataja mambo ya kuzingatiwa, aeleza hofu yake kuhusu mwenendo wa Gen Z. Agusia uwezo wao katika teknolojia. Gen Z hata ukiwa na hofu, hiyo hofu ni yako. You do nothing. You know, have you ever come across a generation that just doesn't care?
Yes, I'm coming across it now. We are all coming across it.
Now you're feeling it.
Now, yes.
At least we cared, the millennials. Okay, and guys who older than millennials.
Exactly.
Let's come back home and take a look at the cartoons. And we start off with the one on na hizi zote ni mambo na IEBC. I tell you, out of the 4 cartoons we have,
Yeah.
3 of them are talking about the IEBC. So let's take a look at the one that's not talking about the IEBC. That's the one on the standard. We have Hari. Hari lazima akichora akuandikie jina sababu hautajua ni nani. Ati I too can be president. Who is that? Rigiji. Lakini surely Hari. Hari tafadhali. Huyo umeona.
Huyo unamwonea.
A caricature of the former deputy president, the current party leader of the DCP. Even ndo amechorwa na Hari.
Yeah.
I too can be president. That's what he thinks. That's a cartoon on the standard.
All right. Tuingie hizo za IEBC sasa. The Star. IEBC, this is Erastus Ethicon, the chairperson of IEBC, has been caricatured here just as a dog barking.
Lakini ametoa meno ameweka kwa kombe. So he has no teeth.
He has no teeth. Anaangalia tu Goonism ikiendelea. Watu wakipatiana pesa kule Kalou ahead of the by-election. Lakini he's just backing selective justice, the way the Standard captured it this Saturday.
There's an MP from one of those MPs who supports DCP who was fined 1.5 million shillings for supporting violence. But I'm wondering, fine, if she did, well and good.
Yeah.
But is she the only one? From all this action we've seen from Kalou, one MP? Surely Ethicon, surely.
Yeah. We also had that one when alikuwa anasema, sija alikuwa anaambia kina nani, David Gikaria, Nakuru Town.
Vile na Nakuru.
Yes, akiambia, you know, the amount of money I've spent on you guys. Na wewe hakuna kitu ilifanyika? Watu ametulia tu.
No. A year to the next general election, this cannot be what you IEBC is portraying to the public.
Yeah. That's the caricature on the Star.
Same issue, same theme on the caricature on the People Daily. There's a IEBC there, caricature there, wamepeana yellow card. Anasema, I am warning you. Mimi nawaona, I am warning you. You're warning who? Parties and can you take action? You know, people just say, can you take action? Can you do something? You cannot just be warning people all through. Kalou by elections, na imeitwa ile buy ya kununua. Buy elections. I think this is the worst. I think even Bere was better.
Yes.
This is the worst by-election we've seen. The worst campaigns for by-election. There's a lot of violence. There's a lot of voter bribery. All these things are happening at the same time. Alafu IEBC nakuja sema, I'm warning you. So you stop. I'm warning. I will postpone these elections. Bure kabisa.
I think it's coming second to the one. Was it Homa Bay? Kasipul. Yeah.
Should we call IEBC out?
Yes, of course.
Tuambie, IEBC munacheza sana. Tutawapatia hii yellow card sisi wenyewe. Fanya kazi, wacha mchezo wewe. Iko nini?
Sawa. Wacha sasa tuangalie the caricature on the Daily Nation, lakini mfanye kazi. Bado ni nyinyi. IEBC.
Kama huwezi fanya kazi, toka hapo. Kuna watu wengi sana. We have over 55 million Kenyans. You can't come claim you're IEBC chairperson and not doing anything. Come on, nipeleke kotini.
IEBC checking possible foul. Iga anasema we've closed your eyes, and yet you're claiming that you're checking possible foul as campaigns continue in the Kalou by-election. But we see politicians dishing out goodies here. Mattresses just flying, money in bags flying around. Ni gas tu sioni hapa, lakini that is what is being
and boats, you're not seeing the boats.
And the boats. But mattresses, we see mattresses are flying, and maybe these are blankets as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're pretending to be checking any possible foul, but mefunga macho, you're not doing anything about it.
IEBC here, this is so embarrassing because you know it's playing out before the eyes of Kenyans. Everyone is watching. Everyone is seeing these things. Umepewa kazi na hii nchi ufanye. Unakuja tu kupiga kelele na hakuna kazi unafanya.
Kama watupe.
Sasa munipe hiyo kazi. Huyo mwenye yako hapo anacheza. Hii ni mchezo analeta. That's a cartoon on the Standard. All right, so these are the big discussions today. Matters Kalou. As you said, official campaigns end today. So that to allow for the by-elections come Thursday. A lot of questions about the integrity of the process with this allegations of voter bribery, allegations of violence, and general abuse of electoral code of conduct. While IEBC is watching, so what will happen next year? If at all this is what we are witnessing in a by-election. a year just before the main thing. Anyway, these are the discussions we'll be having here with my panelists after the break. Mambo ni mengi, and I'll be introducing my panelists to you in a short while.
Right.
Just before we take a break, let's take a look at the traffic situation in and around the city's main highways. All right, so the traffic situation, of course, we usually take a look at Thika Highway na ni kama ile Monday traffic imerudi. That stretch all the way from KU main campus, all the way to Githurai, past Githurai, all the way to Kasarani, all the way to Garden City Mall. It's a long stretch of red. Meaning that if you're coming from Ruiru and kama umeshindwa kuingia hizo bypass ukaingia kwa hiyo barabara, because once you get in you can't get out. Yes, utaitana. After you get to Allsops, a bit of traffic at KCA University, and then as you move on, there's traffic kama kawaida pale Pangani Interchange, all the way from the Utalii Drifts up that stretch getting to the Pangani Interchange. Now that means that also Kiambu Road, today it has traffic all the way from the DCI headquarters. As you dip, you go down into that deep and then go up Muthaiga, there's a big, long stretch of yellow. It's also affecting the other side of the road. Meaning Kiambu Road also. If you can avoid that Muthaiga stretch right now, please do, because hapo utakaka. The other place, Jogoo Road, a bit of traffic there, Makadara kama kawaida pale, Likoni Road, Kiasi. Then there's traffic as you get closer to the City Stadium roundabout, and as you get into town at Landis roundabout as well. Let's go to Eastern Bypass, inakuanga na shida siku hizi. Yes, typical Monday traffic. Even on the Eastern Bypass, there's a long stretch, all the way from Utawala, even before Utawala. Benedicta is actually before Utawala as you go towards the airport. So there's a long stretch of red there. Then as you get closer to the KQ headquarters, and even as you pass that, as you get to that interchange with Outer Ring Road, and all the way to the Eastern, Mombasa. Ni mambo hiyo traffic imetosha. Mwingine mwenye atakuwa barabarani, hiyo imetosha. Good morning.
Yes.
All right, let's take a short break. Remember to interact with us through our social media pages, X TV47 Digital, on Facebook, TV47 Kenya, Instagram the same, as well as YouTube. Use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast, hashtag Story Yetu. You can tag us. My handle on X is at Friday in the morning.
My handle is at Annie_Dida. Good morning.
To escape from a resort.
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business. Na leo mko rada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona, hii ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwa commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Nipatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho ya kesho ya tomorrow.
Hiyo tena. Mzee ni budi nikamchoka.
Ni budi ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business. Na leo mko rada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona, hii ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwa commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Nipatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho as in kesho ya tomorrow.
Hiyo tena. Mzee inabidi nikae nichoka.
Inabidi ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa.
I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunyuma.
Oh my God. You left me. Nitumie ni live.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? High five?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero make a beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair.
It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
Link Up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
Stay fresh, stay safe.
Stay linked up.
My father used to tell me that hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu?
That's me.
It's a chair.
It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system, ni venye tu ni system haisikizi. And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
Then you move it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business.
Na leo mko rada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona, hii ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwanga commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Nipatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho ya kesho ya tomorrow.
Hiyo tena. Mzee ni budi nikae mchoka.
Ni budi ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business.
Na leo mko rada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
All right, good morning and welcome back. This is the TV47 Breakfast. My name is Freddie Ndimuli. State of the Nation, we discuss the big headlines today. And of course, the biggest discussion is about the Kalou by-elections. Much anticipated polls, mini polls. The official campaigns come to an end today, meaning that from tomorrow and the day after, there will be no campaigns in Kalou ahead of the Thursday mini polls. And this is the biggest discussion we're having today. Kalou by-election, matters to do with violence, widespread voter bribery, intimidation, use of state resources and machinery, mutual sabotage accusations. And what is the IEBC doing about it? Last week, the chairperson of the IEBC, Ethicon, threatened to postpone, Chairperson Erastus Ethicon, threatened to delay or postpone the by-elections. Should he do it? All right. So today, I have in studio Felicity Nkirote Biriri, who is a governance expert. Karibu sana.
Asante. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
And there's so much that has happened that is so blatant. And it's so obvious because it's playing out even in front of cameras. And it would appear that people or parties have gotten to a point where they believe that nothing will happen to them. Whatever they do, nothing will happen to them. And the IEBC appears to be rubber stamping that fact that whatever you do, however much you may defy the Electoral Code of Conduct, however much you may be doing things that go against electoral rules, nothing will be done to you. What precedent are we setting ahead of the next general elections, especially with what we're witnessing in Kalou?
Thank you and good morning. What is happening in this country is actually very unfortunate because Kenyans allowed the IEBC to be a very powerful institution with a reason. They wanted to give them the powers to be able to give us free and fair elections independently without having to rely on anybody. Unfortunately, they've turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to everything that seems to be happening in front of them. But it's not only them. The police, for instance, when you talk about the violence and Goonism, the police watch as things happen And it's not just in Kalou. Kalou may be because the focus is there. I think there's a policy that all over the country, a certain side of the political divide should not be allowed to speak or express themselves, or and these people have to go to they've been allowed to go to any length to suppress or to ensure that people don't have the freedom that is enshrined in the Constitution of movement, of speech, of association. So IEBC has not been proactive. We've complained here in the past. I think the last time I was on this show, we talked about it, and we said that IEBC needs to come out more strongly. We need to see their independence. We need to hear their views. We need to see them taking charge of the process. For them to come out late in the day and say that they want to postpone the elections when we have been warning them, the red flags have been there. You know, just shows that these guys, there's something wrong that we need to, you know, to find out. Maybe I don't know, we need to do something. We need to see how is it that we can legally check IEBC, because they cannot just see no evil and hear no evil. Yes.
Do you get the feeling that we're heading back to the dark days when we still had the old constitution where anything goes, like the police and everyone else was answerable only to be the powers that be? But in the advent of the new constitution, what went wrong? We thought we had enough safeguards and guardrails to ensure that some of these things are contained.
It's the tone at the top, if you ask me. And I feel that we are going back to the old days. And this came out very clearly during the Gen Z rebellion. That is the time that I knew we have the wrong man in the position of Cabinet Secretary for Interior. Because when people, remember when people were trying to go to the police station to present their issues, he said that nobody should approach a police station. And if anybody comes near there, should take them to the city mortuary, and then we can case afterwards. So that statement alone should have had him fired. Because, I mean, you cannot have the person in charge of that saying that.
Do you feel that's the biggest point of failure, the person in charge of Interior?
Yeah, it's the person in charge of the Interior and the appointing authority as well. Yes.
What about the person in charge of the police, which is an independent unit? Douglas Kanja, don't you feel that he does not attract as much criticism as the CS? Why are people excusing the Inspector General of Police? He should be in charge of this.
He should take his fair part of the blame, because his office is also an independent office. So he's allowed to do what is right professionally, according to what he knows. But you see, he's kept quiet because his boss sets the tone. So probably he doesn't want to be at loggerheads. We've come to this era where everybody is just protecting their job. They just want to retain their job. They're not interested in doing the right thing or doing their job. So you'll find that Kanja will not speak if the CS is speaking the way he is speaking and nothing is happening to him. He has no hope. Nobody is encouraging him to do the right thing, but that doesn't mean that he should not take his fair share of the blame. Everybody. But so who is going to judge him?
Why are we excusing him?
We should not excuse him.
But there's a general feeling.
People have given up.
There's a very little criticism being directed towards the Inspector General.
Yes, because people have kind of like given up on him. They've given up on him because they look at what has been happening for the last 4 years or 3.5 years. They've like given up actually everywhere. I mean, it's unfortunate. That's why when I see that at least the judiciary is trying to, you know, despite the problems.
What do you think the judiciary would do in this case?
No. Not in the case of the violence, but in the case of, for instance, the headline today, the 7 trillion. Because obviously, again, we have the office, the independent office of the Auditor General, the independent office of the IEBC, the independent office of the Inspector General of Police. So what was the point of giving these officers independence? They were being cushioned from being fired by anybody. So it means that firing an independent office holder is not as easy. Yeah? But these guys are not flexing their muscles. Why? Because of state capture.
What do you feel will be the result of having this lack of consequence on obvious criminality? Like the goons that we witnessed. Yesterday there were goons in Kisumu. We've seen even a Linda Mwananchi rally in Nyandarua stopped and invaded by goons. What do you feel will be the result? Because we are just about a year to the next general election. What will be the direct result of having this kind of action without consequence?
Sadly, I almost feel like, I don't want to say it, but I feel like the elections will either be very violent or postponed. As some people have been saying, that some people want to use
the main general election.
Yes, they want to use this as an excuse to, you know, so that you can hear the by-election. Somebody's even thinking of postponing. Yeah? You've had people talking about even the main election, the general election, being postponed. So maybe we are being prepared for, you know, for these things to...
For postponement of the election.
Yeah, or if not that, then we are heading towards becoming a failed state. Yeah.
If we may focus on Kalou, and the claims that are being made, the allegations that people are talking about, the fact that there could be voter bribery and stuff like that, a lot of government resources being used. The same allegations were made about the elections in Baere, Baere North.
Yes.
Do you see this, because I know you're also a member of the DCP, do you see this as another instance where after the by-elections, DCP will come out and complain about, oh, the government did this, the government did this, that's why we lost?
But the beauty is that Kenyans are watching. Kenyans are seeing. The Constitution, again, the 2010 Constitution gave us cabinet secretaries who are supposed to be technocrats. But you've seen them. There's nothing technocrat about them. They are out in the campaigns. They were there in Bere.
But they're allowed to. They passed the conflict of interest bill, and it allows CSs to...
But you see, there's the right thing to do.
Play politics.
There's the right thing to do. Why they were being relieved of the burden of politics is so that they can concentrate on the job ahead or in front of them, which is to manage Kenya as a technocrat without having the, you know, the usual shenanigans that come with being a politician. So now they are doing so badly that people are actually saying maybe we need to revert to the time when cabinet secretaries were actually members of parliament, because that's how dismal the performance has been. And you could see in Bere, every cabinet secretary has been there trying to give goodies, whether it is the CHPs, whether it is energy, small gas cylinders, whether it is public service, the chiefs, the police. We've seen them all being paraded. And you wonder, why would the government involve itself in this? Yeah. So it's I don't know what the leadership is really thinking.
But as a member of DCP,
yes,
what do you anticipate will happen this week? It's been much anticipated.
I think
everyone has talked about it, but it looks like you're just gearing up or getting ready to file a complaint about rigging on Friday.
DCP is taking this. DCP is taking this seat. It's so clear. Every poll has been clear. And that's why you see that they are resorting to violence. That's why you see there's even talk of a postponement, because they're trying to delay the DCP win.
Have you filed a formal complaint about what you're seeing? Because obvious,
yes.
Apart from talking about this at rallies and saying, okay, the government is doing this or the other, what extra action is, because out of the 9 candidates, we have to admit that the 2 candidates between UDA and DCP are the much talked about, at least on media. What action is your party taking away from just complaining about government excesses?
You saw them going to the IEBC offices. Yeah, they went to they had a meeting with IEBC under very difficult circumstances, because initially the IEBC did not even want to involve all the parties, but finally they were able to attend the meeting so that they can give them the situation as it were. And I know that letters have been written So there are formal complaints. And there are also, our party leader did a press conference yesterday, and you heard what he said. So we've said it as should be. It's just that it's all on deaf ears, but I know that Kenyans are listening and Kenyans are watching.
Right.
Yeah.
Obvious malpractice in as far as electoral rolls are concerned. The IEBC is watching. What exactly will they do? This is what we're discussing right now. Barely 3 days to the next by-elections in all Kalou. Let's take a short break. When we'll be back, we'll be talking about this with other panelists as well. You're watching TV47 Breakfast.
Na manyanya zinakaa hivi, ona hii ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwanga commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Mpatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho ya kesho ya kimono.
Hiyo tena. Mzee ni burudike mchoka.
Ni burudike madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza simu yako. Hamna pesa.
I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimeekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunyuma.
Oh my God. You left me.
Nitumie ni line.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-fi? Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero umeka kwa beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
All right, welcome back and good morning once again. My name is Freddie Ndimuli. This is a TV47 breakfast. This morning, it's only 3 days, or rather less than 3 days, to the by-elections in Old Kalou. And we're just trying to examine the obvious, blatant violation of electoral laws and rules provided for in as far as matters elections are concerned. And before the break, we were talking to Felicity Nkirote Biriri, who's a governance expert. Allow me to welcome my other panelists now this morning. Innocent Musumbi, who's a political analyst. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, Fred.
And Wakili Ishmael Nyaribo. Wakili, karibu sana.
Nashukuru sana.
We're just trying to examine where we are, because even as we talk about the Kalou by-elections, of course, the focus is on the big one next year. But it would appear that as an electorate, collectively in Kenya, we are totally helpless when it comes to violation of electoral laws by parties, by candidates, by everyone. And when I say collectively, it includes the IEBC itself. That there's obvious violation of electoral laws and everyone can see, but the IEBC can do nothing. And if you look at the cartoons today, they point to the same thing. that IEBC appears to be a toothless bulldog? Is this how we are approaching, and comfortably so, the next general election? Innocent.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me here this morning. And it's true. What we are seeing at Kalou is not the best we should see from both the IEBC and the participants in that by-election. And as you know, Kalou is like is the scene before the main of 2027. And it's unfortunate that we are seeing the kind of things we are seeing there. But the focus should move to IEBC now, because you see, IEBC is the ultimate referee who will manage, of course, the by-election and the coming general election. And we should see a lot of, because Kenyans, we are used to this kind of bad behavior. And it's like we have just agreed, let us go on with this. But it comes a time when we must stop and start afresh. And therefore, we need to call out majorly the participants, because both the government and the DCP, they are quite unethical in whatever is happening at Kalou. We have seen the sentiments that we are hearing both from the DCP party leader, former DP Rigathi Gachagua, and those who are campaigning for the UDA candidates. And this is wrong. Even as we blame IEBC, let the practitioners show that they can be responsible people in their utterances. The other day, when we saw Rigathi Gachagua condemning the Linda Mwananchi group, telling them that they have no business in going to Kalou, what kind of a country are we really, preparing as we go to 2027? Because we know constitutionally, everybody in Kenya is allowed everywhere in Kenya. And we have the freedom, we have the constitutional rights of, assembling, airing out political views. And therefore, it is wrong to see these kind of utterances. On the other side, on the government side, we are seeing the kind of splashing of goodies that we are seeing at Kalou. We are seeing blatant bribery of voters in Kalou. And we kind of, it's normal. We Kenyans are believing, and we are taking this thing as a normal thing, but it is wrong. And according to our laws, this is wrong. And therefore, I expect the IEBC to call out these people, both the government and the opposition. And you know, we saw that the Chairman Ethekon tried to threaten that he may postpone the elections, and you saw what the politicians responded, because he was saying, if this is the violence we are seeing here, the kind of bribery we are seeing here is what we are going by, I better postpone this election. And instead of these politicians trying to come up with a responsible collective action, they started condemning the chairman for it. So what
the IEBC chairperson has a mettle to even postpone this election?
Why not? Why not? We have a lawyer here. I think as long as
the question is whether he has the mettle.
Yes, not whether he can.
If you see his description,
but does the law allow?
Akili,
It's true.
If you see the way he's been described, he's a toothless bulldog.
By the way,
Ethekon cannot do anything. Have we gotten to a point where, okay, fine, we know this IEBC chairperson is not going to help us,
and you know,
and whatever goes.
And he has all the tools. He has all the tools. He has independence. He has been. He has a package. He's an advocate of the High Court. Completely has all tools, but he does not. You ask the question: do you think he has the? I mean, does he have the courage? Actually, that's the whole point. He does not have. Who are goons, Fred? I mean, we've all agreed that there are goons. There is no mother in this country who has ever given birth to a goon. Who is a goon? What is this business of goons? We quickly categorize certain people as goons. These are cousins. These are bodyguards. These are followers of some people. And they are completely normal human beings on a Sunday and Saturday and Friday when they go to the mosque or church or whatever. They are normal human beings. But because they support a particular individual, they carry up stones and just throw. So I don't think we have a specific class of people who are really called goons. These are just political, parties, funds, and very normal people who are actually following specific individuals. So they've turned out to, because of the way they support their leader, their political party person, we are naming them as goons. The people who have failed us in all this, number one, is the Minister for Security. Before we come to Ethicon, actually, the Minister for Internal Security has failed it.
But don't you think
if you look at
we're excusing a lot of people and laying the blame at the minister? We rarely blame IG, and I remember asking Felicity, we rarely talk about the IG of police, Douglas Kanja. I've not seen anyone blaming Kanja. I also don't see anyone blaming Ethicon. It's always Murkomen. Don't you think that we're excusing that behavior from these other people?
In hierarchy, yes, but the person who controls the policies and how they are made, of course, apart from the National Security Committee, the Minister for Security is squarely liable. He should be condemning people. He doesn't condemn, when these things happen. He simply comes out
about the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Independent. Unless we are saying it's no longer independent. And it
you see, Fred, we are talking about goons, eh? I mean, goons will be in Kisii and at the same time in Mombasa, and the IEBC chairman, for heaven's sake, can actually condemn and can even stop elections. But I'm concerned about my safety. And my safety is not in the hands of the IEBC chair. It's in the hands of the Minister for Internal Security. And Fred, just a moment. If you look at Michuki, it's good to compare. If you look at Michuki and how he handled that docket, then of course you come again and look at how Matiang'i handled that docket. We could not be having these shenanigans. So the minister should be forthright, like he says, I know it is so and so who did ABC in Nyahururu, and we want to have a talk with you.
We know the CS is an appointee of President William Ruto, who's a competitor in the next general election. That we cannot pretend not to understand. We know the presidential candidate he supports. Should we expect the same from Ethicon? Should we say the same for police IG heading towards the next election? It is easy to blame Murkomen, but should we let Ethicon and IG Kanja off the hook?
No, we should not. We should not let anybody off the hook, including the cabinet secretary. The only problem with IEBC, Ethicon, and Kanja is that they are professionals to the hilt, and yet they abandon professionalism. Murkomen is a politician. He's a courtroom lawyer, yes, but he's also a politician. So we see more of his politics than professionalism. And like he says, comparatively, when you look at all the other interior CSs, the difference is like day and night on how they've been handling this docket. So you've seen Murkomen putting IG Kanja on a campaign vehicle to say something somewhere, something that has never been witnessed in this country. We've never seen an IG of police in a political rally even saying hello. Sometimes you don't even need to know how they look like. You just feel them. But we've seen what Murkomen has been taking them through. And we should not let Murkomen off the hook, please. Okay. Because this is a guy, the buck stops. He's the blue-eyed boy of this government.
But is that what we'll expect of him come next year? We know who he supports.
Yeah.
This is a curtain raiser for the general election. Are we going to blame Murkomen for supporting William Ruto next year?
Yeah, the truth of the matter is that everybody who has been given a constitutional office should be responsible, and whoever does wrong, whoever does what is not supposed to be done should be condemned. And therefore, as you are asking, the ball squarely lies on where is Kanja in all this? Even as we condemn the CS, and definitely we will hear of a lot of condemnation to the CS because of politics. But the most responsible person for this is IG Kanja. And I'm surprised that my colleagues here are applauding what Michuki did. And we have a lot of history on how Michuki did it wrong, because we are a constitutional democracy. And there's nothing that should be done in a very extrajudicial manner. We remember the report by these human rights defender about what happened with the Mugiki sect, what happened during the post-election violence, what happened with the media, your colleagues at Standard Group when Michuki was the
But Michuki stopped the Mugiki anyway.
So let us, but was it within the law? It was quite extrajudicial. No. So what I'm trying to say, I think that is beside the point. What I'm trying to say is that being a constitutional democracy, let us do things according to the law. And personally, I will put the blame on the politicians themselves. Why are we seeing the kind of utterances we are seeing at Kalou and elsewhere in this country?
But we know that politicians
So
and bad behavior go hand in hand.
we need to sanitize our politics going forward. And even in Kenya, we have systems that work. And the problem we have is the people whom we have in these offices, the players in the arena. These are the problems we have.
Innocent, I hear you. And that in an ideal situation would work. But we understand we are not that idealistic in Kenya. That our politics and our politicians are known to be the worst of the crop. The worst of all.
Yeah.
Then why are we expecting that the politicians are the ones who are going to save us?
You see,
a year to the next election.
Exactly. You see, we are having those who are calling themselves the united opposition. Ideally, these are the people who are government in waiting. So when we are seeing that there is no any difference between the government and opposition in the manner they are playing these politics, where are we heading to? Because at least the opposition should be framing themselves in a manner that these are the messiahs we have been waiting for to, you know, make Kenya better than how it is today. So anybody who is condemning the sitting government today should show us what is the difference. What is the palpable alternative are you going to present to us?
And this is rather new that we have hope in politicians to actually do anything. We seem to have resigned to the fact that bad behavior is part of us. A year to the next general election.
Truly, it's part of us.
Properly,
truly.
A very decisive election, Wakili.
Truly, Fred.
That what we are seeing in Kalou is what we're anticipating for the general election. Yes. And we are happy to go towards it the same way.
Yes, but that's who we are. We've got to be honest. I mean, a few citizens, maybe less than 1%, would be decent in one way or the other. Politicians, maybe less than, I mean, I don't know what, just a fraction of a percentage might be decent. It is who we are. Because when you look at historically how we have been campaigning and how presidents have been, I mean, we started campaigns in 2022 itself. And we are now a year to come, and we are trying to, you know, everyone is trying to clean their past, to package themselves, to go to office. The main issue here, by the way, is not Kasongo, is not Ruto or whoever. It is about each politician wanting to go to the office. And for that reason, they use any kind of mechanisms to ensure that they please the president because he probably has some money he can give them. But there is nobody so keen about organizing the country in such a manner that people are decent. Like what my brother is saying here, if you look at the opposition, does it offer any alternative? If Rigathi Gachagua can say Linda Mwananchi cannot come here, which is a very, very, very bad statement in a democracy. And then you are saying now you want this type of people to be, to take up leadership. They will not lead differently. So the real problem, Fred, is us. It's the country. We still have not built our mannerisms and our philosophies of life around, higher levels of life, like how other countries have done it, so that you really do not have to mind about the president. It is us. It is our stage of development. There are very few people who actually want a decent life in political space. So coming back to Kanja, and I don't want to go really back to, I love what my sister said, that military, police chiefs, why do you see them on screen? For what? Because they are really supposed to direct what is supposed to be done. But you remember in 2022 and before, somebody commented that the kind of leaders, the kind of people who are coming together to lead the country pass for wash and criminals. Now, when you have those kinds of people in office, you do not expect them to appoint a person who is entirely clean and who can clean the system. So again, it is us. Every day we are singing Kasongo. Every day we are saying Kaongo. But are we going to make any change? We are likely to vote William Ruto again back to office. And then we will start this same song until 2032. So it is really who Kenyans are and whether they have decided they want to do things differently. I don't see much of that.
They say the electorate deserves the kind of leaders they elect, that if this is what you elected, you deserve it. Let's listen to some of the leaders who are part of victims of some of this malpractice, including violence this past weekend, including Governor Erongo Kangata of Murang'a, who was in Nyandarua for whatever reason.
We were first stoned while in church, IEBC. The vehicle was blocked. It was also confiscated by goons. My driver was injured by police. There was a shooting incident where he was shot. He is currently in hospital. He has a bullet lodged in his chest. We are yet to ascertain whether it's a live bullet or a rubber bullet. And he is completely immobilized. It's very unfortunate. We came here in peace. We don't carry anything. We are only talking. We are only discussing. But it's so inhumane that what we get in return is being stoned. And therefore, as we want to urge Kenyans, our movement is a peaceful movement. We don't believe in chaos. We don't believe in fights. Thank you so much. We will soldier on because we don't have an alternative. We're only expressing ourselves, nothing else. Thank you.
Disrupted our rally in Nyahururu town. This is a well-organized and orchestrated attack by the state that has sponsored goons and police officers. And one thing I want to tell William Ruto, we know you cherry-pick these police officers who do this work for you. We even know you have picked all Kalenjin police officers from the larger Nairobi County, and they have been brought to Kalou to cause mayhem. I want to call upon Mount Kenya people. You need to rise up to the occasion. You need to come together and stop this man from destroying our country. Demonstrate that from here in Kalou. You need to rise up, all the leaders, and even if we have goons and mungiki in Mount Kenya, organize yourselves and send out these people who have come to destroy Kalou. People who want to ensure, because as we speak, the UDA candidate is at 24%. There is nothing they can do. So they wanted us to come here today, cause mayhem, and then say that they are postponing the elections. We are calling people, young people of Mount Kenya, gather, organize yourselves, and deal with this crooked regime. There is no way we will allow William Ruto to continue harassing people and dividing this nation. You organize police officers in tribes and you send them to places to disorganize people. We will not allow that as a country. And as
Make a right, Felicity. These are politicians calling on goons to organize themselves while still claiming to be victims.
Let me first and foremost say about His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua. He did not say that people cannot go to Kalou. What he said is that there is no need to go to campaign for the DCP candidate. But you could go to Kalou if you wanted. Can you imagine if they had gone? What happened in Nyanza is what would have happened to Kalou. Things would have been more confused. And the feeling was that they were okay, the campaigns were going well. So in fact, Rigathi Gachagua may have saved lives by requesting that let the campaigns go on as they are going, because they are going well. So far, so good. No. I mean, then the other thing is, you know what? We need to understand that there are perpetrators and retaliators. So who perpetrates the Goonism?
Should we justify retaliation?
These are state. Look, you're in a competition. Are you going to just let somebody? And I'll tell you something about Kenyans also. Kenyans will not elect you if you sit down, are bullied, and accept to be bullied. That is the first thing that they're going to say, you're not fit to be a leader. So they're the ones who, you said, you get the leadership that you deserve. Yeah? And these things are all happening. These goons, somebody else said they're our cousins, they're our relatives. We are having political meetings, even funerals. I attended a funeral that was disrupted. over the weekend. Because there are people who don't want to hear the truth. They feel that the truth is going to make them lose. So what do? They disrupt so that no one talks. And we all go home without having heard the message. So I think we need to do a root cause analysis to find out what is the problem. The goons are state-sponsored. And like I told you earlier on, it all started during the Gen Z protests. We saw those young people coming to protest, and then their picketing was infiltrated by state-sponsored goons. From that time, it's been downhill.
Innocent. Retaliation?
Yeah, of
Yes,
course,
you
two,
must.
two wrongs
Self-defense.
will never make a right. And, you know, the kind of politics we are seeing, especially in Mount Kenya, personality politics, somebody who is trying to create a cult-like movement. And this is not the future of Kenya. Kenya, our politics should be issue-based. And that is why I'm so disappointed with young leaders like Kibagenti here, and Sifuna, and you know, this governor from Murang'a, Kangata. You know, when you allow yourself now to start doing the politics of the past, they should not even be doing the kind of politics that Rigathi Gachagua is doing. Those are politics of 1960s. We need to do contemporary politics, and this is what these young people should be doing, showing this country the way forward, giving palpable solutions, giving an agenda, not talking of retaliation attacks. Number two, we should not be very, very quick to apportion blame to the state as the perpetrators of these goons, because we have agencies in this country that are quite constitutional, very well structured. Can we allow them to make proper investigations and give us a report? Because these Linda Mwananchi guys, they were warned. Don't come to Kalou. No matter how my sister here is trying to frame it, they were warned. Don't come to Kalou. Na musilete hiyo kierere yenu hapa. So, so many people would have perpetrated that violence. So let us have a proper investigation and understand exactly who did this. But I expect the government to come very strongly on this matter, because this culture, of course, we are now going down the slippery path of 0708, of creating anarchy in this country. And as we go to the next year's elections, we need to see a stop to this kind of goonism, because we saw it at Kisii, we saw it at Kisumu, we saw it at Kakamega, it's now here in Mount Kenya. We need to put a stop to it. And I think IG Kancha, Murkomen should be up to the task and stop this kind of nonsense.
If you look at the picture on the front page of the Star, I don't know if you have a copy there, but I have a copy here. There's obvious interaction between police and some of these armed teams, whoever we may call them. This is what we are doing a year to the next general election. And we appear to be very comfortable with it. Fine, we've already established Murkomen is not going to do anything. If at all he will, let's see. CS Murkomen, if you're told you can do anything, do it, we see. But now we know you can't. So this is how we are approaching 2027.
Yeah. And that's why Kibagendi's statement should not be overstretched. What he's telling people, and I think we agree that retaliation is not really the way to go, but Fred, you have a constitutional right to defend yourself. You cannot walk out of this gate. And
using goons,
you cannot walk, you cannot walk out of
Would you, as a lawyer, defend that kind of action? Retaliation, surely, before a court of law?
I'm not talking about retaliation. I say retaliation is it's not really correct, but don't overstretch. What is it? That's a politician who is in the waters, in the muddy waters. He understands how goons are operating and how police are operating. And you have shown us the Star, daily picture that police and goons are in bed. Together. So what do we do? Do we wait for them to annihilate the whole country? The Constitution allows us to defend ourselves. If the only method, I mean, you've seen this, Fred, where in an estate, police are called to help a robbery, they cannot come. Police are told there is this and this. We know this is the guy, this is the goon. They do nothing. So what are we supposed to do? The Constitution and the provisions given to us by God allow us to be defending ourselves.
And I asked you this question, Okili. If I retaliated, would you defend me in court?
Oh, 100. I mean, that's what we do every day. Fred, I will go to court to defend you, depending on your situation. But I'm saying this, Fred,
and you will win.
It is not right for anybody to understand you to be so weak as to be finished completely from this earth. Like they can annihilate you. That is not allowed of the president. That is not allowed of the security minister. And you see, they did this. They have done this in the way they handle the Gen Z protests, the young people abducted and killed. Then they come back again and get an agency to pay them. Pay who? And they're dead. And then again in the same week, again, there is another protest, and again they arrest, abduct them. So citizens, we were taught by Raila Odinga, and this is true, that we have a right to defend ourselves. When things get out of hand completely, if the police sit back, they cannot help you. Many people, that is how people take up arms, Fred. That is how these failed countries. No, my point is police should work and security department must work. If they do, there will be no need for anybody to retaliate.
What I'm feeling is that we know there will be violence next year, and we are comfortably walking into that. Because, yes, police have failed, so 20 to begin in 2027.
The problem,
Felicity, is that what you're saying?
The problem is that you don't want to apportion the blame to where it should be, squarely, 110%. Because, for instance, I'm reading, Ethicon is saying, I urge the public not just to accuse the commission of being toothless, record these acts of goonism and electoral malpractices and file complaints with us. As DCP, we filed complaints, Malava. We filed complaints, Mbere. We filed complaints, Kalou. What do you want us to do? He's still asking for complaints to be filed. We filed, and no action. So I want you to tell me, and we are, unless you tell us to let
And I asked you this question when we started. Are we looking at another instance where come Friday the 17th of
this
July,
is what we are saying. If
DCP will just be crying and saying, oh, they did this, they did this.
If this government wants this country to slide into anarchy when it's under its watch, that's their legacy. That's their legacy to protect or to take care of. The president has a legacy. The cabinet secretary interior has a legacy. They need to internally ask themselves, am I doing the right thing? Even if you want to say that hata kama kura hazitatosha tutaongeza.
They also have an election to win. I don't know if that's a correct
statement. They have an election to win. We also have an election to win.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where does this leave us, Innocent?
Yeah, I really...
Now you say now tutaenda, twende tupigane sasa.
Yeah. No, that should not be the direction. We have a country to protect, and we have a government that is in power. And it is a responsibility of this government to ensure that there is peace and order in this country. And we need also to have, you know, I have said from the beginning that opposition is a government in waiting. So as we demand order from the government, let the opposition also behave in a manner to suggest that they are garnering for that order. Because the reckless statements we are seeing from all the politicians, they are wrong. And you know, we can't just say that that is the nature of Kenyan politics. We must put a stop to insanity and begin a new Kenya. And we have a lot of history to learn from. And only fools do not learn from their past mistakes. We know the anarchy that was meted on Kenyans in 0708. Why would you want to go back there? Why would we wish that Kenya now is on its way to be in a banana republic and cheer up that? All of us, both opposition and the government, we need to come together and protect Kenya because we don't have any other country. And therefore, the kind of each and every leader, I'm so disappointed with Kibagenti. You can't call the people of Mount Kenya to tell them, you need to come forward and fight these people. You cannot do that. Because what are you trying to perpetrate? What made Kenyans fight in 0708? Because Raila Amolo Odinga and his ODM brigade said, even if we go to court, we won't get any justice. So can we go to the streets?
And that was before the new constitution.
And therefore,
now we have a new constitution and it's still not a remedy to anything. That's
so
that's
let us to punguze the temperatures, because
Musumbi, if I
the
get-
temperatures are just too high.
Wakili,
If I get your money.
we thought and we hoped that with the new constitution,
Yes.
we were past whatever happened in 2007.
Yes.
We would conduct ourselves better.
So we know, even with the most colorful document governing us, called the Constitution of Kenya 2010, good leaders need to be in office to implement it. Today, as we speak, if the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, very energetic human being, if Murkomen, if Daudi Kanja, despite what Rigathi Gachagua will say, if they want to bring sanity in the security sector, it will take maximum, I think, a week. Because all they will need is a National Security Council. They do a meeting, they tap the NIS, they tap the military guys, they tap the National Police Service and all other multi-agencies as we know them, and there will be complete security. Rigathi Gachagua has not come quarter of what Raila Odinga was. Let's be honest. I mean, he is a very influential guy, at least in Mount Kenya, but Raila Odinga was an enigma. And still, one security minister called Fred Matiang'i cooperated closely with the multi-agencies and Uhuru Kenyatta and actually made sure that they contained him. So to say that Rigathi Gachagua is excuse for skirmishes to happen around Nyahururu and Kisumu as they happened in the weekend is an excuse. So if the security agencies today make a decision that we do not want to see Goonism and any insecurities in the country, actually it will happen. But that decision, Fred, has never been made. Everybody is touting. They are looking at who is saying what, and then they unleash some terror. Here is a small, I mean, one MP in Kisii, honestly. I mean, my good friend Zahir Janda, and you know, he's trying to come up, and then he's mobilizing people in a small market in Kisii, and they are throwing stones until somebody died. Do you want to tell me that that is because Musumbi and myself here were talking on media? This is because the security agencies have allowed that Goonism to actually thrive. And that's why I'm saying, when you see a leader now saying, I think we are all alone, what do? Do we run into the thickets, or do we defend ourselves? I think he's right to some extent. It's not good to retaliate, but Fred, you cannot sit in your own house and see your house burning and refuse to go and fetch water and actually put off the fire. If the security and if the goons are in bed and they are saying we must annihilate the community called Kenya, Kenya will have a right to defend itself.
And it reminds me of the fact that that case you've mentioned for Zahir Janda, the MP there, that the case file disappeared. And you wonder, okay, this is a year to the next election. No one seems ready to take any action against anyone in as far as this violence is concerned. My concern now is not even all Kalou.
Yeah, and the problem we have is ourselves also. Why would my colleagues say that it is all of us, or talk of the alternative government or opposition, while from a governance perspective, we have a constitution that is very clear. We have given IEBC the independence and the tools. We have given the IG the independence and the tools. The constitution allows that if these offices that we have created in the constitution do not give us the services that we require from them, we can go to the streets to protest or to picket. So you go to the streets to picket or to protest, and you find the state, instead of giving you security to express yourself, is sending goons, if I may borrow the word, to annihilate you. What would you do?
Next year we'll be marking 20 years since the very unfortunate events of 2007. 20 years later, a new constitution in place, 2 governments later, we are just looking forward to go into this election with that kind of mood. We're twende tukapigane sasa. Even as a female aspirant,
yeah.
How does this make you feel that we are going into this election and anything goes? If you do not have goons.
I feel scared, actually, to be honest. Because like I'm telling you, I went to a funeral during the weekend as a candidate. And it was actually a friend. It's a private function because this is a funeral. I'm not going to a funeral of somebody that I do not know. But because they had that, we were in attendance at the funeral, your competitors start saying, oh, now you know, they are going to start saying one term, they are going to start talking about all the things that people want to hear because it's the truth, but they know it does not work for them. So what do? You make calls, come, kuja unilinde, kuja usiwache niaibishwe, usiwache nipate aibu, and you come with a whole multitude of people. Somebody speaks, people shout. It was just by good luck. In fact, I'm going to share the clip with you privately to see what happened. But you know, it can go out of hand.
It has already gone out of hand.
It can go out. No, I'm talking about this particular incident that I was in a funeral. That funeral, actually, you know, finally, the family did not even conclude the funeral in peace because they had to start saying now everything went haywire and the body had to be taken. It had to now go to be, you know, because the service was at a primary school compound. Yeah, because there were too many people. And then the body now had to just go home unceremoniously. So who is to blame for this? And especially when the sitting members of the officials want to take over even private functions.
I may appear to belabor the point here, but it's a real concern that if you look at the elections in 2013, they were not as chaotic. However much they were very fiercely contested. 2017, this kind of violence was not witnessed. Even in 2022, despite the rivalry and the bitter politics that was there. But this time round, it would appear that as a country, we are ready to go to elections, and violence will be a key factor.
Can I say, it's the decency of the leadership.
Yeah, Fred, let me say, from the onset, Goonism, violence, this unethical behavior should be stopped. And of course, the government carries the biggest responsibility in ensuring that we have order in the country. And we have independent commissions like NCIC, the people who should be, you know, summoning leaders, calling leaders into order. But the other day we saw, and it is on record, we saw NCIC summoned Rigathi Gachagua. He actually said, I won't go there. How are we going to build the country with that kind of a behavior? We have seen, and I hope CS Murkomen will put this into reality. He said that he will arrest Rigathi Gachagua. I want to see that happen. That should happen. And any
He's very big on threats.
Kisii MP should be elected. Even the kind of nonsense we are seeing him giving out money, dishing out money to, you know, in public, it is wrong. We need to see action being taken. But I want my sister to get me right when I'm saying that even the people who are not in government, they also have a responsibility to bring order in this country. Rigathi Gachagua is full of giving press conferences. I think in a week he does almost 15 of them.
Harmless.
In those presses, can we see some sense of responsibility, some sense of order? Because he is the de facto opposition leader today in Kenya. Can we see him calling people to order?
And if he is the problem, can he be arrested?
He should. Why can't he be arrested?
How is he the problem?
That is why I'm saying, let Murkomen put this into reality. Awache kupatiane tu vitisho. Let us see it being...
Senator Vitisho Baridi. Murkomen Vitisho Baridi. Can you do something?
I want to see the arrest of Rigathi Gachagua. I want to see the arrest of Kibagenti for this kind of utterances. I want to see the arrest of the Kisii, Kisii MP guy who is giving out money and supporting goons. This is the kind of a situation
so Fred,
in this country.
Fred,
yes.
It would be beautiful to arrest Rigathi Gachagua after you have about 1,000 goons in police cells. So that Rigathi will remain himself and he has to be arrested. But, just to try to, if you say you have to go for the honor of the dog, then what happens about government itself? Who is in charge of sponsoring? When you talk about a gun, ordinarily, and this is an illegal gun, guns are, tools in the hands of police. So when you say there was a grenade and you are actually either a police chief or a minister for security, That's an embarrassment. I mean, if you talk about guns, you know how many guns are in this region and how many guns are in the other region. So if goons are using guns, first and foremost, we presume those are police officers. And if they are not, they should be behind bars. So if you arrest all these goons, as we have identified them in terms of how they cause mayhem in political rallies, then you can come, and the country will support you to arrest Rigathi Gachagua. But unless you arrest goons, then you go for Rigathi Gachagua. You're just looking for anarchy. And that will not
growing up, anyone who just issued threats and failed to take action on the threats, you're the coward. This is what C.S. Murkomen said. Let's listen to it.
No matter what will happen, it is my business to protect the country from the violence and the hatred and the tribalism and the vitriol of one Rigathi Gachagua. It will be my daily business to ensure that I protect the nation. I saw him yesterday sharing AI-generated pictures of some people and say that, oh, these are hit squad causing violence. He cannot continue inciting violence in Kenya. We are now, Kenyans are clever people and they can tell who is for national unity and who is for negativity. You don't know Gachagua. Vile mnatembea hivyo, huyo mtu anatembea na goods na atapangia nyinyi goods. I want to advise you, if I really want to say it is extremely sad that leaders, young leaders like Sifuna, like Babu Owino, among other young leaders, would ever contemplate and pick Gachagua as their role model. That is degenerating. That is working backwards.
So it's been reduced to now advising politicians on who to associate with.
Fred, you see that one is genuinely wrong from a security minister. Because he's really trying to attack Rigathi Gachagua. Yes. And he's not really looking at the security problem. He's now looking at how he can advise Babu Owino not to look at Gachagua as the role model. And this is where he goes wrong. And he's not wrong accidentally. He's an advocate of the High Court. He's a very smart human being. He is saying that simply to color the environment so that now people believe that Rigathi Gachagua has goons that can easily rampage the whole country and probably cause mayhem in the whole country. And this guy, Rigathi Gachagua, has not actually moved out of Mount Kenya. He's busy saying, "Awa watu ya Mount Kenya hapa naye hamuguzi." So I think this is just jealous, I can say. It's political jealous, and it's competitive talking on national media from an internal security minister. He should focus on making sure that goons are behind bars.
What effect does this have on the rest of the politicians when the Interior CS threatens to arrest someone because of obvious criminality, according to him, but fails to do so? Now he becomes an advisor to politicians. Don't associate with that.
Exactly. I think what Murkomen is saying is trying to tell the young leaders, let us bring the very desired change. Don't go the direction of these legacy politicians. That is what he's trying to tell them. But Fred, let me say something about this goons issue. You remember after 0708, and as Kofi Annan was trying to bring peace into this country, there was what we called the fourth agenda, Agenda 4. And there was the question about our youths. Why is it so easy to procure goons? Because we have a very high rate of unemployment in this country. And unless we come up with a solution for these youths and to create employment for them, we will always have this kind of goons because they are ready to take those crude weapons and small tokens from politicians and do their bidding. So as a country now, politics aside, let us have an agenda for our youths.
Do you think it's impossible to arrest Rigathi Gachagua?
It is not impossible. Why? Rigathi Gachagua is just a tribal elder in
why
Mount
is the
Kenya.
CS threatening repeatedly?
He should be arrested. And you see, it's not a question of the Interior Cabinet Secretary saying that we will arrest him. We have seen the kind of crimes that Rigathi Gachagua is committing. So by law, he should be behind the bars.
Failure to arrest him. It is a year.
What has he done?
It is a year to the next general election. Threats to arrest Rigathi Gachagua do not assist anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Actually, by today, Rigathi Gachagua should be arrested.
For what?
Otherwise, Murkomen should just keep quiet now.
What has Rigathi Gachagua done to be arrested?
What has he done to be arrested?
Perpetrating hatred.
Nothing. What hatred? More than the person speaking on the screen there? It's, I mean, remove the log in your eye before you remove the speck in my eye. So what is happening is that the CS Interior knows Kenyans will not allow him to arrest Rigathi Gachagua for doing what? NCIC is applying double standards.
Has Rigathi Gachagua become too big that you cannot arrest him?
Because, you know, we are also human beings and we are fair. We can see what is unfair. The NCIC, so many people are making inflammatory remarks in this country. There is so much hate speech, but you only cherry pick, if I may borrow the word from the MP there, you cherry pick the person you want to summon and you leave everybody else to walk away scot-free. The same way they are cherry picking the askaris that they are going to send to the places that they want to do what they want to do. Kenyans are not stupid. They are very intelligent. They can see what is happening. They can see the unfairness that is going on. They can see the insensitivity. From a Murkomen who said, shoot anybody who comes to a police station. And then we take to the mortuary, the body, and then come with case later. To a president who says, shoot the Gen Z in the leg to immobilize them. I mean, Kenyans are not...
So was Murkomen disturbed with the
saddest part, Wakili, is...
Yeah, so this is somebody who makes a statement like that. And he says he's
people are dying. We're losing lives in all this chaos. We don't care. How many lives will we lose in the next general election? As we approach it in this manner, so callous, people can die, kitu ya kawaida, watu kufa. We saw what happened in 2007. And if at all you are not born by then, go back and read. People died. Hundreds died. Are we just anticipating another instance of what happened in 2007? Well, we have 9 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking for some sense of hope. Yeah. Even for the sake of my audience.
Fred, when you talk about Rigathi being arrested, probably for saying the Sierra One or something like that that was sent from Nairobi, there have been so many disbandments of several police units historically. And during this particular current regime, there are police units that have been disbanded. So if you talk about arresting him, by the way, it's not a major issue. If the police want to arrest him, I think he should be more peaceful, be arrested, and then produced before a court of law. So what happens? There can be no crime for saying that I am aware there are police officers who are sent from Nairobi and they are in Nyahururu and Kerugoya, whatever. That's a statement. In fact, even within political utterances, it is actually protected because he's a leader. So, but in terms of can he be arrested? If there is anything to make him be arrested, he should have been arrested. That is the question you are not answered. You are wondering why there's a threat and he has not, but he cannot be arrested because he has not committed a crime. So those are public interests to threaten the supporters of Rigathi Gachagua that, oh, we will arrest your man. He cannot. And if you look at Michuki again, I told you, and look at Matiang'i, there were no such utterances. In fact, people were arrested or called upon to account for what they have said. If you talk too much about what you will do, then you leak the energy. You already lose it. I mean, there's nothing else remaining if you have talked about it. So is there hope, Fred, if you ask? There is hope in the country, but I think the way we interact with leaders and the way we interact with money, we still behave like we are so backward. And yet the region, East Africa and the far ends of Africa, they still respect Kenya a lot. They think we have got such a good democracy, we have got good money around here, the economy is thriving according to the way they see us. And we are still behaving so backward, simping behind political leaders, behaving like they are the people who can organize us in our homes and careers. And I think I also question the kind of education we have been given because we still do not know how to detach from other people in terms of organizing ourselves. There is no politician, there is no member of parliament, there is no president who will organize your home and career in a certain way. These are things you do yourself as you build yourself as an individual. We are putting too much premium on politicians, and I think that's the major issue we have.
And they are not worth it.
Yeah, as I agree with Okili, that's very true. There is hope for Kenya, and we can make Kenya better. And leaders have the first responsibility to do that. And, you know, when my sister here is saying that Kenyans will mobilize themselves and ensure that Rigathi Gachagua will not be arrested, I think that is anarchy. That is now sowing the seeds of anarchy, because why should he resist arrest? Because yeah, he will be arrested and he should be arrested.
What has he done?
Anyway, what I'm saying is that, and this is where Kenyans will always miss the leadership of Raila Amolo Odinga. You know, Raila Amolo Odinga as an opposition leader was very clear, he was factual. What we are seeing from the de facto opposition leader, Rigathi Gachagua, is just throwing out all sorts of unscrupulous words and things that cannot be determined as facts. And you see, these are the things that are raising the temperatures in Kenya. So what I'm calling out for Kenyans is that let us be responsible. Let Murkomen, as a CS for Interior, be responsible in his utterances and in his actions. And the government of William Ruto today should give Kenyans the security we deserve, because that is the primary responsibility of any government. And William Ruto can do that. So as we move to Kalou and as we move to the 2027 general elections, we should ensure that Kenya is peaceful. And again, let Kenyans understand that the politics of personalities, politics of empty rhetorics should be those politics of the past. Let us look at the track record of a leader and the kind of a vision the leader has for us. Otherwise, Kenya has to move.
I have a question for you. Do you feel that if at all Rigathi Gachagua is arrested, it will change the trajectory we've taken as a country?
It will, because the supporters who are following him, they will understand that our leader has been taking us towards the wrong trajectory and he has been called out. This is why he has been arrested, and maybe they will change.
Okay. Felicity.
It's unbelievable. Rigathi Gachagua is not above the law. If he had done anything wrong, he would have been told so. But he has done nothing wrong, not from the court of the public opinion or from the judicial court. But one thing I know is that when God closes one door, he opens another one. Raila was taken, may he rest in peace. We now have Gachagua as an opposition leader, credible opposition leader. And the other thing is to warn Murkomen, to tell him that what he's doing, and he should listen to the Gen Z very carefully. There is a statement that they made that anybody who is in power in government today should think about deeply. They said, Siri ni numbers. You cannot kill everybody. You cannot arrest everybody. So if you have more people disgruntled than satisfied, Siri ni numbers. So what they are doing, they are creating or they are watering the seeds of civil disobedience. And if they don't do a 360 in terms of governance and the way they are treating Kenyans, I don't know what is going to happen.
I was hoping you would give us hope.
I cannot give you false hope.
That was my request, that we give Kenyans hope.
I cannot give you false hope. I'm just saying there is still room for change. Things can still change. There is hope that things can get better. But, like I said, the people in charge must take charge and do the right thing and embrace good governance.
All right. This is the situation we are in. Slightly above 1 year to the next general election, 20 years after the events of 2007. It would appear everyone, including those in charge, are simply allowing us to go down the path of violence. And we are taking it, swallowing it every single day. What will happen next year? Don't say you were never warned. Allow me to thank my panelists this morning. Just a moment, yes. Felicity Kirote Biriri, she's a governance expert, asante sana.
Yes, sir.
Innocent Musumbi, a political analyst, and Wakili Ishmael Nyaribo, our panelists this morning on State of the Nation, right here on TV47 Breakfast, trying to break down the events slightly less than 3 days to this much anticipated by-election in Kalou, which for all purposes could be an indication of what will happen next year in the general election. Asanteni sana for your time at TV47. All right, after the break, we switch gears, talk matters about sports. Yes, France, Spain, England, Argentina, the semi-finals of the World Cup. Mouth-watering final. I think it's only Argentina that's not a European country. So 3 out of 4, the World Cup goes to Europe. Well, this is what the team for Monday Blitz will be talking about, plus other sports as well. So do stand by for that after the break. My name is Freddie Ndimuli. Good morning.